Coral reefs are diverse underwater ecosystems held together by calcium carbonate structures secreted by corals. Coral reefs are built by colonies of tiny animals found in marine waters that contain few nutrients. Most coral reefs are built from stony corals, which in turn consist of polyps that cluster in groups. Coral reefs are found in the deep sea away from continental shelves, around oceanic islands and as atolls. Where the bottom is rising, fringing reefs can grow around the coast, but coral raised above sea level dies and becomes white limestone.
As sea level rose, the water and the corals encroached on what had been hills of the Australian coastal plain. Usually, three major zones are recognized: the forereef, reef crest, and the back reef, frequently referred to as the reef lagoon. Most coral reefs exist in shallow waters less than 50 meters deep. The reef flat is the sandy bottom flat, which can be behind the main reef, containing chunks of coral. Atlantic and Caribbean coral reefs account for 7.6%.
Although corals exist both in temperate and tropical waters, shallow water reefs form only in a zone extending from approximately 30 degrees N to 30 degrees S of the equator. Without their symbionts, coral growth would be too slow to form significant reef structures. Coral which loses a large fraction of its zoogs and felly becomes white or sometimes pastel shades in corals that are richly pigmented with their own colorful proteins and is said to be bleached, a condition which, unless corrected, can kill the coral.
Sponges are another key. They live in crevices in the coral reefs. The irregular structure, a characteristic of coral reef bathymetry, may enhance mixing and produce pockets of cooler water and variable nutrient content. Reefs are home to a large variety of animals, including fish, seabirds, sponges, cnidarians, which includes some types of corals and jellyfish, worms, crustaceans including shrimp, cleaner shrimp, spiny lobsters and crabs, mollusks including cephalopods, echinoderms including starfish, sea urchins and sea cucumbers, sea squirts, sea turtles and sea snakes. Aside from humans, mammals are rare on coral reefs, with visiting cetaceans such as dolphins being the main exception.
A few of these varied species feed directly on corals, while others graze on algae on the reef. Over 4,000 species of fish inhabit coral reefs. The global economic value of coral reefs has been estimated to be between $29.8 billion and $375 billion per year. About 6 million tons of fish are taken each year from coral reefs. In particular, coral mining, agricultural and urban runoff, pollution, organic and inorganic, overfishing, blast fishing, disease, and the digging of canals and access into islands and bays are localized threats to coral ecosystems.
Various fishes graze corals, dead or alive, and change the morphology of coral reefs, making them more susceptible to other physical and chemical threats. The threat to the health of reefs is particularly high in Southeast Asia, where 95% of reefs are at risk from local threats. Current research is showing that ecotourism in the Great Barrier Reef is contributing to coral disease, and that chemicals and sunscreens may contribute to the impact of viruses on zooxanthellae.
Coral aquaculture, also known as coral farming or coral gardening, is showing promise as a potentially effective tool for restoring coral reefs, which have been declining around the world. Coral is farmed by coral farmers who live locally to the reefs and farm for reef conservation or for income. One case study with coral reef restoration was conducted on the island of Oahu in Hawaii. The University of Hawaii has come up with a coral reef assessment and monitoring program to help relocate and restore coral reefs in Hawaii. Dredging covers the existing corals with sand, and their larvae cannot build and thrive on sand. They can only build onto existing reefs.
Darwin's theory followed from his understanding that coral polyps thrive in the clean seas of the tropics, where the water is agitated, but can only live within a limited depth range, starting just below low tide.